and the rest of our crew, thanks for enjoying this night of Game 7s here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm Dave Strader. Good night from Vancouver.
It all comes down to Game 7. One option, win or go home. A stage for the great ones to shine even greater.
Heisman moving, blue line chance.
Yet not all have handled the expectations.
Marchand in, shot, score! The Edmonton Oilers! The Edmonton Oilers have upset the Dallas Stars!
A time where unlikely heroes emerge.
Beto behind the net, swings it in front, he scores! Beto! Beto! Beto!
Series that have gone the distance go even further.
3-on-2, Ferraro drops it for the game, score! The New York Islanders have beaten the Stanley Cup defending champions!
We got no respect from anybody. We got no respect from the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we're going to the semis and they're going home, and that is wonderful.
There is no rest for the weary.
Rebound off the back of the goaltender. Score! Toronto sends it to 7!
This is Game 7. This is NHL Tonight. We began with 16 teams. 11 still have a shot at the prize. After Tuesday night, we will be down to 8. Night 14 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we're still not out of the first round.
Each night gets better.
I just got goosebumps right now as we begin the show.
Put a coat on.
I have one on. And Game 7, 3 Game 7s in one night. Some Game 7s tidbits. To begin the show, you see 105 in NHL history. The home team has won 64%, not a large margin at all. The team scoring first, 73% of the time, 27 have gone to overtime. Will we add some more classics to those classics we saw at the top of the show? Our panelists included in those classics, and we begin with Patrick Waugh. Last year, Game 7. Oh! Overall, Patrick just 6-6 in Game 7s. Marian Gaborik and the Wild, of course, the very first Game 7. Peter Forsberg with the puck, supplying the physical play and the touch, but Manny Fernandez there. In the first, Patrick Waugh tested. He passes the first test on the Hendrickson blast. Late first, no score. Reinprecht a chance. Waits. Fernandez stacks the pads and makes the save. No score through 1. Skula to Reinprecht in alone, Ray.
Reinprecht wants to get this up high. He doesn't get it up. He gets it about waist high. Fernandez with the glove save.
Sakic and Forsberg on the ice together here. Sakic, no. Forsberg, yes. Second goal of the series, just his second. 1-0 Colorado. But minutes later, after a dicey penalty, Wild power play down. Patrick Waugh leaning, doesn't cover, and Dupuis ties the game at 1. Later second, Rob Blake with the shot. Oh, ding-dong, almost goes in, Raymond. What happened?
Here, Blake's going to shoot it. The puck's at a funny angle. Look at it. Curves way back. Fernandez doesn't see it. Tells his defenseman and yells at him that he can't see.
Typical goalie blames the defense.
Late second, 1-1 half. Power play. Oh, Ray, what happened here?
The puck comes out. Forsberg was the best player on the ice. He's got the wraparound. Sakic gets a stick on it. Fernandez gets the shaft to his stick, then the post and out.
Third period, time winding down. Colorado power play, and it's Joe Sakic one-timer time, Barry, his 6th of the series.
Got to be a hard pass across the way Fernandez is playing, or he'd get across and make the save. He still almost gets across to make the save, but a rocket of a shot by Sakic.
Colorado in great shape, right? 4.5 to go. The puck, Brunette might have gotten it. Gaborik might have gotten it. They say Gaborik for now. 2-2, we go to overtime. Game 7, overtime. Blake and Morris backing up, and Andrew Brunette. A cast-off by the Predators, by the Thrashers. He's a hero in Minnesota tonight.
He owns Minnesota tonight.
The Minnesota Wild have beaten the Colorado Avalanche in 7, Ray.
Yeah, Blake and Morris play this terribly, and Brunette gets inside on Patrick Waugh. Waugh went down way early, and Brunette's able to get the puck around his feet. Beautiful goal by Andrew Brunette.
17th team in NHL history to rally from a 3-1 deficit to win the series, and it's a team in their third year of existence. Lose in the first round for the first time since '98 when Colorado fell to Edmonton. Joe Sakic, as always, comes through when it matters most. 71 career playoff goal, 6th of the series. But again, as Barry mentioned, Mr. Minnesota, it's not the governor, Jesse Ventura, it's Andrew Brunette.
I think sticking to our game plan. We never wavered. We lost 2 games at home. They went down 3-1, and we didn't change. We came out more resilient than ever. And I think for the first time in the playoffs, last 3 games we played with desperation, something we didn't do in the first 4.
Why were you so confident coming back?
So here it is. First playoff series. You see the Wild, winners in 7. The Panthers, the only team to advance past the second round when they took care of the Boston Bruins in '96. Well, this, of course, is a complete shock. Not only that they beat the Colorado Avalanche, but the fact that the Avs were up 3-1, Ray. What went wrong? Why had the Avs, why had the mighty have fallen?
Well, not only did they lose and lose in this regard, but they lost 2 games on home ice, the Avalanche did, in the last 3, and that was really surprising. But when you look at the Avalanche team, they're basically a one-line team with Forsberg, Hayduk, and Tanguay. Tanguay fell off in the playoffs, and Joe Sakic as well. That's what they have up front. They have no second line to play with Joe. Pierre Lacroix is going to have to retool this team in the offseason to add some scoring depth. You look at defense, they have Blake and Morris, and they have a chance to lose DeVries. Patrick Waugh in goal was not the Patrick Waugh we've seen in the past. He played the winning goal terribly, and this is a guy that's supposed to carry this team through to the second and third round and beyond. I was really surprised the way the Avalanche played. They couldn't have played much better in Game 7. They had lots of chances, lots of bad luck. Came down to goaltending. Patrick Waugh didn't provide it, but Manny Fernandez did.
First time all year, Patrick Waugh played back-to-back days all year long. It did not happen. Meanwhile, Barry, people focused on the coaching in this series. Tony Granato, the rookie. Jacques Lemaire, likely coach of the year. Was that any factor in this series whatsoever?
No, none at all. Tony had the right guys on the ice. He played his key players more. He put Sakic and Forsberg together. Ray said it. They couldn't have done any more. They outchanced them 5-1. They attacked them. They went at them. It's a lot harder being the favorite than being an underdog. The bottom line is the minute Minnesota won a game, they had a successful season. Tony had all the right guys on the ice, key times. Bottom line is when you got the best goalie in the world and he's outplayed by Manny Fernandez on the other team, you're not going to win. If you're Toe Blake and Scotty Bowman reincarnated together, doesn't matter. The goaltending lost this series for the Colorado Avalanche.
So again, back-to-back Game 7 losses for Patrick Waugh. Last year, the embarrassment in Detroit, and this year he loses to the Minnesota Wild at home. All right, moving on. Game 7, number 2. Leafs and Flyers. Like the Wild and Avs, a back-to-back situation, no rest for the weary. Who would be more fresh? Jeremy looks very fresh right there, chewing the gum enthusiastically. Early on, Hronek. Amonte save Belfour. He's never lost a Game 7. Keep an eye on Robert Svala here.
Well, watch right here. You got miscommunication. Belfour is not a great puck handler. He throws it to Svala. Puck gets in his feet. Bang. Philadelphia gets a great scoring chance off a turnover. Eddie should stay in net where he's as good as anybody that's ever played.
Just 5 minutes later. Again, Belfour. There's Svala. Too hard by Belfour. Gets by Svala. Great pass by Primo. Great pass by Williams. Gagne, the first goal of the game. 1-0. Shortly thereafter, Claude Lapointe. Down the left wing. Look at Owen Nolan. Reaching, not skating. And a goal. Justin Williams with beautiful stick work, Ray.
Everybody talks about the big additions at the trade deadline. How about Claude Lapointe for a draft pick? Lapointe goes to the front of, or throws it to the front of the net. Justin Williams, 3 months ago, ACL surgery. He's back for this game, scores a big goal.
Keith Primo, his last goal was that 5 overtime affair in Pittsburgh. It's help here. It goes off the stick of McGillney and by Belfour. Suddenly, it's 3-0, and there it is. Since May 4th, 2000. First playoff goal for Primo, who had an outstanding series. Still second. These come back. Jyrki Lumme. What in the wide world of sports is going on in front of that, Barry?
Well, you see a lot of confusion there. Weinrich pushed Sundin into Czechmanik. Czechmanik's not buying that story. He was very animated, very angry, but the bottom line is no interference, goal counts. Maybe the game will turn around.
Jim Vandermeer shoots it. Lapointe from the side, no. Mark Recchi. Driver 8, take a break. 4-1. Still second. Power play, Ray.
Recchi throws it to the front. McCabe goes down to block it. I'm not really sure why neither he nor Belfour got up after the initial stop. But look at Recchi's got all kinds of time. You think he should shoot it right away. He took his time and put it right by Belfour.
and got a hug.
Got a hug. He's got a new baby. Pretty good week for Mark Recchi.
Life is good for the Flyers.
What Aiden Moffat is to Arab Strat, Mark Recchi is to the Flyers. He is the most productive playoff series of his career, and his Flyers now advance to play the Ottawa Senators in round 2 of the playoffs. Worst loss ever for the Leafs in a Game 7. First time that the top 4 Eastern Conference seeds advance to the second round since 1996. Jeremy Roenick brought in to bring a championship to Philadelphia. He's one step closer.
I think it's the way that we won it. We were down twice, or down once, and we got beat up, and we got pounded, we got physically beaten, and we overtime after overtime, and we just kept grinding it out. So I think the character that we showed in the length of series that it was and the physical series it was shows a lot of our hockey club.
We wanted to get traffic on him, no question. I mean, you know, it's a lot of hockey he's played, and you know, we know that he's a competitive guy and a terrific goalie, and that's where you have to beat him. You have to get people in front of him and try and bang home some rebounds.
It's part of playoffs, and you know, the other teams are always have done that to me in the past, and you know, they probably always will continue to try and, you know, fall on you and stick you and, you know, whatever they can to try and get you off your game.
Mark Recchi sets a career high for most goals in a playoff series, netting 6 of them in the 7 games against Toronto. It's the most goals for any Flyer in a playoff series since Tim Kerr had 10. Brian Propp had 6 in the 89 Patrick Division final against Pittsburgh. Coincidentally, that was the last time the Flyers had won a Game 7 before Tuesday. First time in 5 years under Pat Quinn, the Leafs lose a first-round series. Barry, all year long, the Flyers had issues scoring, but after the Imani trade, this was like a different team.
It is a different team, and for a number of reasons. I think the depth is one thing. They got so many guys in the team that can score, and I always thought this team could score. I found it funny that they weren't able to score with the amount of offensive weapons they have, and tonight it really came to the forefront. You had 3 guys on this team score their first playoff goal of the season. Can you believe that? Claude Lapointe, their defensive specialist, scored a big goal in tonight's game from John LeClair all kinds of times. Keith Primo has not scored since Christ was a Cowboy. Comes in here and makes a great play across. Maybe McGillney helped him a little bit, but Keith will take 10 of those anytime. Great power forward, went to the net consistently in the playoffs, finally got rewarded with a goal. Justin Williams, Raymond mentioned, missed most of the end of the season with a knee injury, had a great game, had a great series, great speed. Gagne was a force tonight. LeClair and Amante, 1 goal between the 2 of these guys, and yet this team was able to beat a very good team in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Beat them soundly tonight, but it's been a tough series. Again, when you play the Flyers, and Ottawa's going to find this out, who do you cover? Who do you check? Roenick's their best forward right now, I think, but with Primo playing and all the other guys kicking in, you got Handzus. You got so many guys in this team that can score when they get a chance. Great depth, great size, going to be a tough team to play.
First playoff series win for Roman Cechmanek. Again, as Barry mentioned, Flyers and Sens next. More on that later in the second round of the playoffs. Well,